The Defense of Marriage Act was put into place in 1996 by President Bill Clinton. This act was set forth in order to prevent gays and lesbians from being able to be legally married in the United States. Over the last few years, DOMA, as it's more commonly known as, has become a hot topic in politics and has personally affected the lives of millions of U.S. citizens. Conservative religious groups have rallied together in support of the Defense of Marriage Act, claiming that if gays and lesbians were able to marry, it would ruin the sanctity of marriage. The sanctity of marriage. This is something I would like to speak about just for a little bit. The divorce rate in the United States is currently higher than it has ever been and is only getting worse. The argument against gays and lesbians stating that it will ruin the sanctity of marriage has always been something that has infuriated me and just baffled me. Currently, gays and lesbians are only allowed to legally marry in 9 states. So how? I ask you, how? How is it that the divorce rate among heterosexual couples is so high, but same-sex marriages are the ones ruining the sanctity of marriage? In addition to ridiculously high divorce rates, how many people do you know personally that have not only been married once, but maybe 2, 3, 4 times, maybe even more? Heterosexual couples are able to get married as many times as they please, all while denying homosexual couples the right to marry the one that they love just one time. Makes sense, right? Now, my favorite argument against same-sex marriages is the religious argument. As the Westboro Baptist Church likes to freely proclaim, God hates fags. Classy. Now, even though most religious organizations aren't quite as harsh with their actions and their words as the Westboro Baptist Church, they may as well be. Homosexuality is a sin. It's an abomination. So it should be written into law that those choosing to live this lifestyle may not have equal rights as the rest of us. Now you may choose to believe this. This might be what you believe. And if it is, that's fine. You have every right to believe whatever you want. But at the last time that I checked, this country is prided on its separation of church and state, meaning not one religion will dictate the laws in this country. Not any religion will dictate the laws in this country. But it seems that this fact can easily be ignored when fighting to take away someone's right based on someone else's religious convictions. And as far as religion goes, why is it that all of the other sins and damnations of the Bible can be ignored, but the small blurb about homosexuality must be praised on high? I'm pretty sure that eating shellfish is a sin. And I know living here in Florida, everybody loves their seafood. Just saying. So, separation of church and state. Religious freedom. 2 great things of this country. You are free to believe whatever you would like to believe, just as I am free to believe whatever I would like to believe. Now, I know nothing about you and your convictions, just as you know nothing about me and mine. I don't know whether you are married with children or divorced and a single parent. Maybe you're on your second or third marriage. I don't know. Likewise, you don't know any of these things about me either. So allow me to tell you a little about myself so that you may understand where it is that I'm coming from. I'm 25 years old. I'm single. I have no children. I'm a lesbian. I'm an atheist. And I don't believe in divorce. I wish to get married one day. I wish to raise a family one day. So, let me ask you this. Does learning any of these things about me and my personal life change your life in any way? What if I said I had a wife and 3 kids? Would you leave this room having been tremendously affected in some way? Would you look at your wife or your husband and say, that woman is married to a woman. Everything we thought we knew and loved about our marriage has changed. Honestly, would you? So, what would really go wrong if myself and others similar to me were able to legally marry the person we love? I'm still looking for a reasonable answer to that question. Now, they say history repeats itself. In our not-so-distant past, black people were barely second-class citizens. And interracial relationships, like homosexual relationships, were an abomination. It was as if the fabrics of society would rip apart if a black woman and a white man, or a black man and a white woman, were allowed to be together. Just as it would if a man was able to marry a man, or a woman able to marry a woman. Well, today, interracial relationships are no longer illegal. Society did not crumble because of it. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that the legalization of same-sex marriages will not leave our society in ruins either. Now, the legalization of marriage. I still have trouble thinking that my marriage is something that needs to be voted on and made legal in the first place. But hey, that's the truth of the matter. So, let's do that. Let's vote to make gay marriage legal. But it will ruin the sanctity of marriage. Still waiting for a reasonable answer for that one. Well, then we'll have to teach our children about homosexuality. So what? Shouldn't you be preparing your child to be able to go out into a diverse world as a functioning and loving adult anyway? What happens when your kid says, "Mommy, why is her skin darker than mine?" You simply tell that sweet, innocent child that some people have dark skin, some people have light skin. I know that was hard. So what happens when a little kid goes, "Mommy, why is that man holding that other man's hand?" Well, sometimes a man loves a man, sometimes a man loves a woman, sometimes a woman loves a woman. That right there is the beginning of World War III, ladies and gentlemen. Explaining something so simple to a child. Okay, not to make light of the situation, but talking to children about anything serious can be difficult. I remember whenever I found out what gay was, I was disgusted and shocked. Then my mother looked at me and she said, "Your favorite aunt is gay. Do you love her any less?" I was 8 years old. And no, I did not love her any less. It was as easy as that. Children handle big situations a lot better than they are given credit for. So why is it so difficult for adults? So, why not legalize gay marriage? Why not grant equal freedoms to everyone in this great country and not just some? Does whether a complete stranger can get married or not really and truly have any effect on your personal life whatsoever? Put yourself in the shoes of a minority, any minority, and think about how different your life would be if you were discriminated against for something that is out of your control. Be part of the change, not part of the problem.